What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. I have a brand new UFO encounter you've never heard of. So, just a couple days ago, former Navy pilot Ryan Graves, who has testified before Congress about UAPs back in the summer of July 2023, alongside Commander David Fravor and UFO whistleblower David Grush.
Chairman Grothman, Ranking Member Garcia, distinguished members of the House Oversight Subcommittee on National Security, Representatives Burchett and Luna. My name is Ryan Fobbs Graves, and I am a former F-18 pilot with a decade of service in the U.S. Navy, including 2 deployments in Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Inherent Resolve. I have experienced advanced UAP firsthand, and I'm here to voice the concerns of more than 30 commercial aircrew and military veterans who have confided their similar encounters with me.
Well, recently he was doing a Reddit Q&A, right? It included all these subreddits. The Anomalous Coalition put it on. It featured Leslie Kane and someone named Dr. Haynes, who I had not heard of, actually, all sitting down. And Ryan got asked a great question about recent UFO encounters from pilots that he had heard of. And the story he tells is fascinating.
This question is for Ryan. Do you hear from commercial pilots? And what is one of the more compelling incidents you have heard from a commercial pilot recently?
Sure. Hear commercial pilots all the time. It seems to be an increase of reports about, pretty close encounters. We've had recently this one's maybe not perfectly recently, but a 737 coming within 500 feet of a black triangle at about 15,000 feet as they were climbing, nose to nose, 180 degrees out. Both pilot and the co-pilot saw it. Air traffic control had nothing on their radar, described it the same. Centralized, glowing, I believe, blue light on the apexes of the triangle, as well as one in the center that was more purple. About 200 yards per edge. Bigger than the 737. 500 feet is very close. That's basically a merge, in a jet with another jet, set up a dogfight. So they were pretty shooken up by that event, as you can imagine. And this was actually the pilot that drug tested himself after the flight. To kind of deal with what he was seeing.
I mean, this is terrifying, right? Especially if you're the pilot or the co-pilot, and apparently both of them saw this. So this was a commercial jet, right, carrying passengers on its way to some destination, and runs across this black triangle, right, with lights in each of the corners and then a purple light in the middle. Now, I have to be honest, when I went and searched on Google for just images of something like that, there are a ton of sightings with that exact same description. Just saying, right? So let's take a look at what a 737 is, like how big is it, right? So here's some images here to kind of give you an idea of the size of this plane compared to other commercial airliners, right? And then I decided to make a little recreation image to showcase what the sighting may have looked like, right? He said it was about 500 feet from the plane, like, going head on, right? So you can see it here. I mean, how close that really is. And he said the craft was bigger than the plane, right? Which is just absolutely insane, right? And he also said that basically they were so close, it's like a merging, right? In a sense, right? That might as well be on top of each other, right? In the sky, 500 feet is super close, too close for comfort.
And just recently we had another report of a relatively near miss with the black triangle as well, about 800 feet somewhere else. And there's another one that just popped up with a dish-shaped object that came within about 3,000 feet of a commercial airliner. I mean, there's so many. It's hard to even just highlight one or two that are, most influential, and it happens so repeatedly and consistently. It's it's hard to ignore.
Especially when you realize, Ryan, as you said, told Congress, it's only a small percentage of these pilots that even report them. So
Oh
what
yeah.
about the other ones, right?
And there you go. He just told a few more, right? And you got a disc-shaped object, another triangle-shaped object, and the stigma around reporting these is almost more of an issue than the encounters themselves, because if pilots feel afraid or ashamed or embarrassed to report these, right? You even heard that one pilot took a drug test afterwards to make sure he was okay, right? Did I see that? Let me think. Did someone spike my drink? Like, what did I just see, right? There is a lot of, shock in seeing something like that, especially if you're a pilot, right? And disguise are your friend, right? And you love being out there, and boom, you see things all the time, but now you see something coming at you. I mean, how disturbing is that, right? So, the stigma around it, reporting on it, right? Hopefully that's what needs to get better. That's how we'll get more data. If pilots just report it like they would anything, like if the wheel went out or something, you know what I mean? Like yeah, I saw you, like it shouldn't be a thing. If you saw something and you report it, it should be just like telling people what you had for lunch. Like it should be that accepted, right? Now, what we do with it is different, but we should not encourage pilots to keep their mouth shut about this stuff, right? They should report it. That doesn't mean they have to say, oh, it was an alien craft. Just say what you saw, what came near the plane. That's it. We'll take the data, right? Like from there, right? And I'm all for it. And look, Ryan is also for it because he runs a nonprofit called Americans for Safe Aerospace, right? Where he encourages this pilot reporting, trying to remove the stigma. I am all about that. I'm not saying that any of these ships are alien or anything, but our pilots flying in the sky should not be running into these things. And might I remind you, that was a commercial flight. So the next time you're on your way to Toledo, Ohio, right, wouldn't you want your pilot to report something like that? I mean, now it involves all of us. If you've ever taken a flight, domestic here in the United States, or you live overseas, or an international flight, right, whatever, you want to feel safe on those planes, right? You want to feel safe. And the pilot should feel comfortable reporting anything they see, whatever it is, right? So, wow, this is crazy, right? I'm definitely in support of this movement for pilots, and I'm really glad that Ryan is behind that because there's not a lot of people kind of pushing that. Ryan gets a lot of hate for some weird reason in the UFO community, which I can't understand, but I support what he's trying to do. I mean, 100%. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check out the full Q&A. It's about 2.5 hours. There's a lot of stuff discussed in there, but this is what I found most fascinating. All right, betters, we'll see you in the next video. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.